Hello folks, Todd Halleck here today, talking to you again about some estate planning topics. This week we are going to be talking about debts and dying. We did part one several weeks ago, addressing how to plan for your debts in your estate plan. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about those folks who are left to administer those debts after you've passed away. So when someone passes away, one of the first things we want to do is figure out who they owed money to at the time of their passing, and if we have enough money to pay those individuals back. So one of the first things that we're going to try to do is, in discerning those creditors, is potentially do what's called a notice to creditors. That's a notice you may have seen in the newspaper that says so-and-so has passed away, and if someone is owed money by that person, they need to notify the trustee or the personal representative of the estate within a certain period of time, or the debt is no longer valid. And so putting that notice to creditors out there is an important step that a trustee of a trust or an administrator of an estate is going to take. Now, not every state allows the trustee of a trust to do a notice to creditors. And so in those states, if you want to do the notice to creditors, you would have to file a probate and do it through a probate estate. That may still be a good choice because you may want to limit the time within which a creditor can make those claims against the estate, and thereby allow you to be able to settle the estate ultimately with some degree of certainty that there aren't going to be these creditors coming out of the woodwork down the road. Another step that we encourage our clients to take in that situation is to have a credit report run on the individual. One of the three major credit bureaus, you can order a report that will tell you about creditors that are outstanding. Now, if there's a known creditor, meaning someone that you're aware of, that business or that individual should be contacted directly, notified directly of the passing of the deceased and their opportunity to make the claim against the trust or the estate for the debt. One important thing to understand, especially for family members, is that you're not personally responsible for the debts of the deceased person unless you were jointly obligated on that debt for some reason. So sometimes our creditors will want to take the position that that the family has to pay that debt back, and they will sometimes try to intimidate them into doing so. Generally speaking, the family isn't obligated to personally pay those debts, but they do need to pay them out of the estate. And it's important that those debts be paid before distribution is made to any beneficiaries. If a distribution is made to beneficiaries and then there proves to be insufficient funds to pay the debts of the estate, then those beneficiaries will have to send that money back to the estate. And if they're unwilling or unable to do so, it could mean that the personal representative or the trustee or the executor is now individually liable to that creditor, even though originally they wouldn't have been so. So really important to do that. That's especially true with any sort of taxes that may be owed. Those debts have a level of primacy that others don't, that it can really get you, your attorney, and other people into trouble if the taxes aren't taken care of appropriately. If an estate proves to have insufficient assets to pay the debts of an individual, then most states have a statute that will set the order of priority for creditors, and it's again really important for the person who's administering the estate, the trustee, the personal rep, executor, to follow that level of priority, because again, if someone gets money that they're not supposed to and someone else doesn't get money that they should have gotten, you could be personally liable in that situation. So debts are an important part of managing the affairs of a deceased person, and handling them appropriately can be very straightforward, but any missteps can cause you to have personal liability. So it can be really important, if you have any question at all, to make sure you've got the appropriate counsel that you need to make sure that you're making good decisions and that you're dealing with the debts and liabilities of that deceased person, both according to the terms of the trust document or the will, as well as the state and federal law. So I hope this has been helpful. make sure you get the help always make sure you get the help you need. And until next time, goodbye.